This session we'll take a look at placing windows in the exterior wall. Again, the first thing we want to check is that our floor selector is set to our active floor, the lobby floor, and that will lock our ACS plane and snap locks. Next, select the Place Window icon, and that opens the Place Window Properties panel. First thing we're going to do is select the window type that we would like to place. So we're going to do a simple fixed window. We'll use the example fixed window in the dataset. Again, we want to select a placement point. So we can select from either side of the window or the center. And we can choose to use the sill as the placement origin or the head height. So I'm going to just select the left side of the sill there. We can determine a front and back offset from the face of our wall. I'm going to put in a front offset of 2 inches. We want to determine the sense distance. Again, that's the distance that the perforator will look through the wall in order to cut the opening in the wall. And so generally speaking, we want it to be about the thickness of the wall. Since we have an exterior wall here, I'm going to set that at 1 foot 4 inches. We can also put in a side offset, so that would be the distance from our placement point to our positional point that we select in the model. So I'm going to put in a side offset of 2 feet in this case, so that I can snap to one of the grid lines and place the window relative to that grid line. We can also put in a sill or head height. So again, that's the distance that our positional point will be vertically off the floor. So if we had selected one of the head positional points, it would be the distance to the head of the window. Since we have selected a sill positional point, it'll be the distance to the sill, and I'm going to put in a distance of 2 feet. Then we want to get to the actual window dimensions. So I'm going to put in a frame width of 4 feet and a frame height of 8 feet. We could type in a frame depth, or again we can use the match wall to determine the frame depth based on our wall thickness. We can select a frame thickness, and again we could put in a type ID such as W1, and we could even give this window a number if we like, or we can leave that blank. And if you scroll down, you'll see there are other parameters or data that you could add to this window, such as a manufacturer's name or model number, the construction phase, IFC information. There is certain information that's already input that's there by default based on the definition in the catalog. Once you have all the parameters that you want set, keeping in mind you can always come back and modify these again later, you'll want to place the window. So we do this by simply selecting the wall where we want to place the window. Then I can move my cursor along that wall. Again, I can work in either the ISO view or a plan view. So I'm going to move over to my plan view where I could actually select the grid line as my placement point. Then I have to determine which side of that placement point I'm placing the window. So we're going to go to the right here. And then finally, I determine which side is the front of the window, so basically the exterior. And I select that, and it places that window in the model, cutting the perforator through the wall. And just to zoom in here, you can see that 2-inch offset, the front offset that we put in, and then the rest of the depth of the window frame is based on the thickness of the wall. So remember, to place a window in the model, we're simply going to select the window type, define the properties of the window, and then select the wall, select the placement point along the wall, and then select the orientation of the window. Next, we'll take a look at placing a curtain wall panel.